All right, y'all. This just got crazy. I know you have seen it, but Diddy's lawyer, his top lawyer, quit in the middle of everything and just a few weeks before trial. And guys, I don't think this is some normal legal issue. When lawyers jump ship, it means something is coming and it is not good. So let's get into it, right? Diddy has a total of 6 defense attorneys on his case. But the one who quit, 𝘕𝓫𝓫, this man right here, he is no ordinary lawyer, guys. And FYI, I have his full motion to withdraw, the full document, nothing edited out, and I will share it with you today. But just a little bit of background on who this man is and why everybody is up in arms. Why is there so much commotion? So 𝘕𝓫𝓫, he is literally from the same streets as the Diddler himself. He is from Harlem, New York. And he is not just any lawyer. As I said, he has been honored by the New York State Bar Association with the Outstanding Criminal Defense Attorney Award, right? So he is an outstanding criminal defense attorney. He is top of the top in America, one of the best, the cream of the crop. And he has spent his career on opposite sides of the courtroom. He's represented people from marginalized communities to the extremely high-profile cases. And one of the people he used to be a lawyer for, that person is the reason why everyone around the world is shocked that he chose to quit supporting Diddy. Mr. 𝘕𝓫𝓫 was the Osama bin Laden's lawyer. That's right. That's right. If you haven't seen this yet, this is the headline that has been making rounds since his departure from the case. Right? He was literally Osama bin Laden's lawyer. And he chose to step down from Diddy. He supported and defended a U.S. terrorist, but he will not support the Diddler. He will not go all the way to trial with the Diddler. Nothing at all. So that makes me think, guys, do y'all think this means Diddy is guilty or his legal team is scared of the backlash? Because, you know, you have to think about these things. Some lawyers won't take a case because they're just like, it doesn't have a good reputation. It's not something that can boost their career. Right? So Mr. 𝘕𝓫𝓫 himself, I'll go back to his picture, right? Or actually, you know what, let's put up the drawing from the case. Just evidence, you know, that he's actually worked with Diddy as well. Mr. 𝘕𝓫𝓫 tends to specialize in death penalty cases due to the belief of the need to advocate for people to be allowed to live. Because of this, many people do wonder, is the Diddler, is he going to possibly face the death penalty? I know there's no death penalty in New York, but some people, especially after what's recently been going on in the past few months, are wondering if they're going to bring it back. Now, I just want to remind you guys, 𝘕𝓫𝓫, he was still willing to work with Diddy despite the rape allegations, despite the drugging, despite the trafficking, despite child rape and abuse. And matter of fact, as I've mentioned already, he has defended terrorists, and not just one terrorist, multiple terrorists. I believe at least 2 to 3 that I have confirmed. So whatever he has recently learned supersedes all that, because apparently some of the discovery was released to the lawyers for them to look at before the case. And there's possibility that something in those discoveries made him go, I can't do this. And guys, if you think something big is going to happen, drop a eyes emoji in the comments. Like, let me know what you think he might have seen, he might have thought. Now, guys, listen. I've said it before, I will say it again, right? When lawyers walk away, it's usually because the client is either lying to them, can't pay enough, or something bad is about to drop and they don't want their name attached, right? And in Diddy's case, I personally think it's two of the three, right? It's either, well, you know, who knows? It possibly could be all three. But his client lying to him, this one I'm just like, I see Diddy as a manipulator. One who like fabricates his words with half-truths. One who enforces control. Diddy could be lying about certain things, saying like, oh no, yeah, she asked for the drink when she did not, or like, no, they agreed to this, it was in the contract, when it was not, or when they weren't even aware of certain things in the contract. Like, for instance, I did go over Dawn Richards' case against Diddy and how she said like she was forced to work certain things that she didn't even get paid for. She was forced to stay in the studio for days on end and things like that. So yes, there is a possibility that Diddy could have been lying to his lawyers about certain things, and the discovery says otherwise. The other thing, they can't pay them enough. Personally, I don't believe this is the case, because Diddy is technically, I think he's practically almost billionaire status, if not already there, but the man is a mogul. The man has had all the money in the world. The man has been moving like Great Gatsby. So I don't think this is the case unless they've frozen all his assets. But then again, his kids, he transferred a lot of assets to his kids, so his kids could be paying for it via that, or it could be to some of his companies that we don't even know that he owns, which could be covering. We have no idea, but I personally don't think that this is the case. And then the other thing, which is the most likely thing, is that something bad is about to drop and they do not want their name attached. With Diddy, it's like, before he first got arrested, when Cassie came out and a whole bunch of people were like, Cassie's lying, Cassie's lying. She was not lying. Everybody that said that owes her an apology. But everything started to drop after that, right? All these lawsuits, everybody coming out of the woodworks, Aubrey O'Day keeping her flame going because she's been like, Diddy is not the best since the beginning. Even to the point that she's told other people that she knew that worked for Bad Boy, was like, don't sign this. The reason he's asking you to sign this eternal NDA is because something's about to drop. And what dropped? Cassie's video. Cassie's lawsuit dropped, and then the video dropped. And, you know, guys, when this case goes to court, we are finally going to be able to see everything that they are willing to show. And I want to just reiterate that. Everything that they are willing to show. Something tells me they might not show everything. They might not. Because personally for me, I assume that Diddy is one of those people that has cameras everywhere, and he has a whole bunch of people that do not want to be seen, and a good amount of those people will pay for their privacy or their documentations or their faces to be blurred out or blocked out or things like that, because they are not being persecuted. Which is why some people are saying, for instance, with the Busby cases, over 100 cases against Diddy, some of those cases, people are saying they came out and they're not going all the way because they are settling. Because people are like, let me be quiet about this so that way, let me just pay this person off so that way we could be quiet about this. So personally, right, I'm so shocked that Anthony Rico quit, because it's not every day a lawyer gets a big-time client who can pay big-time bills. And even if your client wins or loses, you get paid for each and every minute you worked with them, because most lawyers I've ever met charge by the minute. Charge by the minute, or at rare, charge by the hour. So yeah, even if your client loses, you're still getting paid for every minute that you worked with them. You still have that invoice, you still send it out. And Diddy, sure enough, I assume, can pay those big time bills. Now, that's why I'm shocked, because I assumed Diddy's lawyers, even if they didn't believe he could win the case, I assumed that they would go to the end just for the paycheck. Honestly, right? So, with that being said, let's get into Anthony Rico's motion to withdraw. And as I said, I have the full thing right here. Let me close this out. Let's make it a little bit bigger so you guys can see, and I'll read it all out to you. This is United States District Court, Southern District of New York, United States of America against Sean Combs, the defendant. This is docket number S24. CR 542, open parentheses AS. If you guys wanted to look for the case yourself or the docket number yourself, it's right here at the top. It's just a little bit hard to see. But yeah, it's a notice of motion to withdraw as counsel. So please take notice that upon the annex declaration of Anthony L. Rico, that the defendant, Sean Combs, moves this court before the Honorable Arun Subramanian, and I do apologize for butchering your name, Honorable Judge, I do apologize, United States District Judge in the United States Courthouse, 500 Pearl Street, New York, New York, at the time that is convenient for the court for the following relief. For an order permitting Anthony L. Rico to withdraw as attorney of record in this case, and 2, for such other and further relief as to this court may seem just and proper, stating that if there's anything else to protect him, to do so, or to help him to do so. I'm assuming that might possibly have the, anything else that's just improper might possibly have to do with how Diddy's been handling everybody. So that is dated February 20th, 2025. It just became public announcement a few days ago. And as you can see, it's written here, attorney for Sean Combs. It has Anthony L. Rico, has all of this. And it even has in blue, it has granted the clerk of court is respectfully directed to terminate the motion at ECF number 157 and to terminate Mr. Rico from the docket. So he's pretty much asking to withdraw, and he's asking to have himself completely removed from everything. And then this here is the declaration in support of motion to withdraw. And it states, Anthony L. Rico, pursuant to Title 28 United States Code, Section 1746, hereby declares under the penalties of perjury. 1. On September 22nd, 2024, I was retained by defendant Sean Combs to serve as his counsel, and I have served as his counsel since that time. As a result of being retained, a notice of appearance was filed in our court on September 29, 2024, CECF number 22. This declaration was submitted in support of the annexed notice of motion for my withdrawal as counsel, as is required under SDNY local court rules, that's Southern District of New York, local court rules. See local court rules of the United States District Courts for the Southern and Eastern Districts of New York, Local Civil Rule 1.4 as incorporated into Local Criminal Rule 1.1. For reasons set forth below, this motion for withdrawal is filed so that Sean Combs may move forward with his defense to commence jury selection and trial without delay. Reasons to be relieved as counsel for Sean Combs. As a result of the discussions led with lead counsel 𝘦𝘞𝓕, this motion for the withdrawal of counsel is filed. While I am aware that the local rule requires that an application for withdrawal of counsel is supported and granted only upon a showing by affidavit or otherwise satisfactory reasons for withdrawal, there are sufficient reasons related to the protections afforded by the attorney-client privilege for brevity in my application for withdrawal as counsel in this case. Although I have provided Sean Combs with high-level legal representation expected by the court, under no circumstances can I continue to effectively serve as counsel for Sean Combs consistent with the ABA standards for criminal justice. This motion for withdrawal of counsel, if granted, will not result in delay of the present schedule for the commencement of jury selection and trial, or the present schedules for briefing of pre-trial legal issues. As a result, there will be no lapse in representation, as Sean Combs will continue to be represented by 5 other attorneys of record, without violating any aspect of the attorney-client privilege or otherwise providing any details whatsoever on the grounds supporting the application. The government has been notified of the filing of the motion to withdraw as counsel. The government takes no position on the motion seeking withdrawal of the counsel of Sean Combs. Wherefore, it is respectfully but regrettably requested that the court grant relief requested in the annexed notice of motion and permit counsel Anthony L. Rico to withdraw as attorney of record. So this is not like, hey, he's fully quit. He's requesting to quit. He put in his 2-week leave. And he's like, y'all need to approve that y'all can let me go so I can go. One thing that kind of sticks out to me is that, where is it? It says, where does it say that? It mentions that right here, as a result of discussions with lead counsel 𝘦𝘞𝓕, which tells me that each of these lawyers are having certain conversations with each other, and they are just like, yeah, you know what, it might be good for you to go. Like, this is not going to be the best thing. It might be good for you to go. Because it doesn't seem like it's one of those like, yeah, okay, I'm going to leave now. It says discussions, meaning they've had multiple conversations about this. And I wonder if he is the only lawyer that has had conversations about this, going like, yeah, I don't know. But the other thing, because remember, guys, I mentioned that Diddy and Anthony Rico are from the same city, the same neighborhood in New York. And if you go to Harlem and you live in Harlem, Harlem is pretty, it's not small, but it's like, it's enough to know people, you know? And like, I went to school in Brooklyn. We knew about certain people from Harlem. We knew about certain groups from Harlem, well-known people from Harlem, you know? And same thing with Brooklyn. Like, when you know somebody from Brooklyn, you tend to somehow know somebody who knows somebody else, and everybody somehow in some way knows each other. So I do wonder if, since they are not too far in age, if they know of each other or know each other in some aspect. I would assume know of each other, but I do wonder if something that came about in the discovery possibly made Anthony go like, yeah, this can't work for me. I know I'm too attached to this, or I know XYZ person personally, or I have worked with the person that this happened to, or something like that, you know? Because I do know, for instance, with judges, let's say you and your dad, right? You and your dad have you and your dad go into the same case, and your dad was like years ago. If that judge recalls and recognizes that you're that person's child, they cannot take your case because or if that judge used to be a lawyer for your dad, they can't take your case. They can't. If that should make sense, right? If there's any association, they cannot take your case. So I do wonder if something in the discovery, possibly 𝘦𝘬𝑃𝐿 like, yeah, so I represented so-and-so, or I've worked with so-and-so, or so-and-so is my cousin, or so-and-so is my second cousin, then he has to be taken off. Personally, for me, I don't know. If I was a lawyer, I would both not want to be part of this case, same way, but also be very curious as to like, wanting to see all the information, all the behind the scenes stuff, everything that's not mentioned, and like just be nosy. That's me. But yeah, in the words of 𝘦𝘬𝑃𝐿, he said, under no circumstances can he continue. Well, guys, he will be continuing, in truth, until a judge greenlights his bid to withdraw from the case overall. He's still waiting for the approval. He's just like, look, I put my 2 weeks in. You guys got to approve it or not. Let me know. Just for legal reasons, he can't just simply walk out. But yeah, I foresee this happening due to him stating that he cannot continue to effectively serve as counsel. And I'm sure there's a sufficiently valid reason that the judge can't deny, but I also think it's such an interesting case because it's so high profile that almost everything can't be mentioned at all. Like, he can't say like, oh, I'm leaving because of this. No, he literally in the motion says, I cannot tell you why I need to leave. It is attorney-client privilege. You will find out the information in trial, and once you get all that information, you could put 2 and 2 together, but I cannot tell you. I just know I need to leave, and you have to believe that. So yeah, sorry about that. Guys, I would not be surprised if more people start turning on Diddy. And I would not be surprised if more and more of his lawyers are like, this check ain't big enough, or I got paid enough, this is good. Because think about it, right? For some people, they might go, yeah, this is a case where you could win a whole bunch of money, but the reputation that goes along with it, I wonder if some of these lawyers are also thinking, man, whether the diddler wins this case, not likely, or whether he loses this case, most likely, how is that going to affect their reputation? Will other people want to work with them because they're like, no, you represented a monster? So who knows? 𝘦𝘬𝑃𝐿 could literally just be doing a reputation check like, yeah, no. I could see how this is going to affect my reputation as a lawyer. I'm not going to take it. Or it literally could just be like something in the discovery. But let me know what you all think. Does this mean Diddy's case is about to collapse, or is something even worse about to come out? And let me know all down in the comments. Bye, guys, and let's keep watching the diddler so that way he and nobody else can ever think that they can get away with something like this for as long as they have. We need a change.